Interviews can be one of the most crucial steps in minimizing hiring the wrong people onto your team. And interviewing well takes practice, it takes patience, and it takes confidence, and it takes the right set of tools. And in my experience, very few managers are strong interviewers right out of the gate. And they really struggle to improve and get this right as they don't put enough time and energy and focus or thought into doing this well. But it's never too late to improve. And like most things in life, interviewing is what you make of it. So if you do the things that I share with you on today's show, you will become a better recruiter or interviewer instantaneously. Let me start out by saying you're probably not meeting enough people. So many managers and HR leaders and business owners, they set out to find the perfect resume. Now, I do believe finding the right person that has a good balance of the experience that you need and the skills that you need, of course, that's very important. But you have to remember, experience isn't everything. Most skills can be taught given enough time and energy, but attitude and personality and drive, these are so much harder to influence. Too often, hiring managers, they let software programs weed out and eliminate candidates based on keywords, and they don't consider someone who is maybe unemployed or somebody that has an employment gap, or maybe somebody seems too qualified or too old, or maybe they seem underqualified or too young, or maybe they pass on a resume because they don't like the resume design, or they find a small typo in their resume. So these are a lot of the reasons that I see good candidates being passed up. And if you're doing these things, you are absolutely missing out on some really great potential talent. So many managers and recruiters turn into a whole different person when they start interviewing. They, for some reason, believe they need to be serious and simply stop being real and natural. As you're meeting with candidates, you of course want to always strive to keep things professional and appropriate, but you want to maintain a friendly and approachable demeanor. Candidates want to feel as though they're talking to a person, not a robot or a corporation. Keep the meeting conversational. Offer comments and discussion between questions. This will minimize that rapid fire style Q&A session that can transpire if you're solely jumping from question to question to question. Stay true to who you are and let the aspects of your personality shine through. Aim to find common ground with each applicant and build from there. Share a story or two about yourself if that feels appropriate, and just be authentic and don't force it. So think about when you're having a normal discussion with someone. You're not in an interview and you're just talking with somebody. What do? You ask follow-up questions, right? So do this when you're in an interview and you will get so much more from the person you're talking to. So when you're asking those interview questions, listen to the initial answer and then pause and ask how, or ask why, or ask when. When something sparks your interest, talk about it. Ask questions. Who knows where the conversation is going to go or what you're going to learn. And not only will you get past those canned responses that happen in interviews, but you will also learn details, the good and the bad, that the candidate likely never planned to share. So interviews often turn into monologues delivered by the interviewer. And the only thing that you're going to learn about the candidate, if you do all the talking, is if they're a good listener or not. So it's really important to listen, and you've got to make eye contact frequently with the candidate, offer encouraging visual clues such as head nodding and smiling, and really listen and be mindful of what your body language is conveying. Don't hesitate to ask candidates to further clarify their thoughts, and consider restating or summarizing what you heard the candidate say to ensure you really understand their point of view. So don't move through this process, the whole interview process, too fast, but don't take too long either. You want to make sure that you have some urgency with candidates and keep in close contact throughout the interview process. If it takes too long or they don't feel like you're communicating and updating them, you are going to lose great candidates. But take your time to thoroughly interview candidates. You want to check their references. You don't want to make quick, desperate hires. Be thoughtful and selective with who you're going to extend offers to. When you have a high standard for who gets hired onto your team, you are going to be much more successful in building the right team.